Naruto is an anime that highlights many characters within the series. With seeing each character's stories and strengths, it's pretty easy to tell that each character in the show are uniquely different. Now the same thing can be said about players in the NBA. NBA players, much like Naruto characters, each have their own journey, skill set, and even personality that makes them who they are. And with being a fan of both anime and the NBA, I found it pretty interesting and easy to find comparisons for NBA players and the characters in Naruto. So in this video, I'll be finding NBA counterparts for Naruto characters based on their story, power, and personality. Now if you want to take part in these comparisons, make sure to follow me on Instagram. And if you like these type of videos, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post. One of the most beloved and entertaining characters in Naruto is none other than Rock Lee. With having overall one of the most unique fighting styles in the show, made Lee one of the most popular characters early on. With not possessing other skills in any jutsu other than taijutsu, Lee mainly relied on his work ethic and insane athleticism while battling. Due to his insane physical abilities, he can be seen as an explosive fighter who could dominate you with his speed and raw power. Now although Rock Lee had a lot of potential, we didn't get to really see him develop into the fighter he was meant to be, and this is due to the injuries he sustained from fighting Gaara. With dealing with potential career-ending injuries, sadly, he wasn't ever able to get back to the same level he was at once before. But despite having such a short run in the series, he's still one of the most loved characters in the show. So what other player fits Rock Lee more perfectly than Derrick Rose himself? D-Rose is a player who, much like Rock Lee, was able to thrive off being an athletic beast. With being able to climb his way through NBA ranks quickly while doing it in the most entertaining way possible, made him one of the most loved players in the NBA. With proving he could hang with the best players at a young age, many believe that he had the potential to dominate the league for many years and be an all-time great. But unfortunately, like Rock Lee, D-Rose's career took a tragic shift when he sustained a leg injury in the playoffs. With both characters' bodies being overstrained due to their explosive play style is one of the main reasons this comparison works so well. Now although Derrick Rose was able to eventually return to the game, sadly, he was only able to be a shell of what he once was, much like Rock Lee. One of the more entertaining and flashy characters in Naruto is none other than Jiraiya. Jiraiya is one of the characters in the show who was able to gain love from fans because of his interesting personality. Despite being one of the most important figures in the show, he was a character who, despite the situation, always had the time to crack a joke and a smile. With being a lighthearted character, it's easy for fans and other characters in the show to gravitate towards him. But apart from his personality, if we're talking about skill and strength, Jiraiya proved himself to be one of the strongest shinobis in the show. With mastering various jutsus and notably Sage Mode, he's shown that even when going up against multiple very strong opponents at once, he's still able to hold his own. Now one of the things Jiraiya is most notable for in the series was his obvious influence in the shinobi world, with many powerful characters such as Pain, Minato, and even Naruto not only learning, but also being influenced by Jiraiya and his fighting style. It's safe to say that Jiraiya was the blueprint to many shinobis in the show. Now I'd be lying to you if I said he's only known for his skill and outgoing personality. After all, he was nicknamed the Pervy Sage for a pretty good reason. So with that being said, what other NBA player fits Jiraiya perfectly other than Magic Johnson? Now much like Jiraiya, Magic Johnson is a player known for his flashiness while battling. With being known to put on a show for his audience while dominating his opponents is one of the many reasons why he's considered a top 10 player of all time. But apart from his flashiness, Magic Johnson is one of the players that subtly changed the game. With being one of the first big guards in the NBA, he paved the way for many top point guards such as Ben Simmons and LeBron James. Now in terms of personality, both Jiraiya and Magic are guys who are extremely outgoing characters who could crack a smile on anyone's face. With being a player who others naturally gravitate towards, reminds me of how loved Jiraiya was in the show. And with both guys who obviously share love for women, it's one of the many reasons why this comparison fits so well. Now the last thing that pieces this comparison together is them both having devastating endings to their career. Now a character who we all know is renowned as a literal one-man army is none other than Madara. With seeing how easily he was able to take down the whole shinobi army just as a warm-up already goes to show that he isn't a character to be messed with. Since he was one of the strongest shinobis in the show, he was able to have his way against almost everybody. His skill and power was so immense that was regarded as almost mythical. But even with all his strength and power, Madara was a notorious character for a reason. He was a character who had no problem risking the lives of others to achieve his goal. In the show, the same exact selfishness, in my opinion, is what really led to his demise. With wanting to go about and achieve things in his own way, ultimately cost him his life and even stopped him from achieving what he ultimately wanted. But despite all his failures, no one can ever deny how dominant he was. In the show, it's said that Madara's strength in his prime was out of this world. Even though we didn't really get to see him in action in his prime, the weight around his name only goes to show how powerful he really was. So what other NBA player fits Madara perfectly other than Chamberlain? Wilt Chamberlain, much like Madara, is a name that has been passed down through generations due to his complete dominance over his era. With being one of the NBA's first generational talents, Wilt proved that he was a complete monster on the offensive end and even more so a problem on defense. With achieving accolades that still to this day stand, he's been able to build up a name that many NBA fans are starting to think of as mythical. But despite him being a physical specimen that can have his way against almost any player, he still wasn't able to dominate the league in terms of winning championships, and the main case for this was his notable selfish style of play. Like Madara, Wilt tried to win championships in his own way, by not depending on the people around them and trying to do things off their own strength is one of the main reasons why both these guys didn't accomplish as much as they could. But despite this one flaw in their game, like Madara, Wilt Chamberlain has respectfully proven that he's indeed a one-man army on the court, with not being able to be stopped by a double or even triple teams is one of the main reasons skill-wise this comparison works so well. When talking about one of the most notorious characters in all of anime, it's hard not to think of any other character but Sasuke. Now Sasuke isn't the character who started off as notorious as he is. In the first part of Naruto, he was able to captivate fans with his generational talent and strength that he displayed at an early age. With being quite literally one of the strongest shinobi in his village as a kid, his rare skill set was recognized by everyone. But the moment we could all say Sasuke went from being loved to being despised by fans was when he made the selfish decision to leave his friends and the Hidden League. In search for more power, he ultimately snaked all of his friends to have his way. Now Sasuke was able to ultimately achieve what he wanted to achieve, but it ultimately cost him a lot in the process. But one of the things that did make Sasuke a likable character though was his nonchalant attitude and the obvious love he had for being a shinobi. With being a character who possesses many skills, allowed him to become one of, if not the strongest character in Naruto. So with all that being said, what other player fits Sasuke better than KD? Kevin Durant is a player who started his NBA journey being loved by many fans. With being able to have an immediate impact in the NBA, it wasn't hard to tell that KD was bound to be one of the greatest players of all time. With garnering the love and support from many fans, including OKC fans, he was able to give them a glimpse of a promising future. But as we all know, in the summer of 2016, he made the ultimate decision to backstab his friends and fans at OKC to join Golden State. With not notifying really anyone about his decision and joining the team he once lost to, many people deem KD as a snake. Much like Sasuke, the reason why KD left his original team was purely off selfish reasons alone. Sasuke left his village to gain the strength to get revenge on his brother, and although he achieved his mission, he lost almost everything in the process. Same thing could be said about KD when he finally won his first ring. Although he finally got a chip, many fans find it hard to respect KD as a competitor due to him leaving to go to an already stacked team. But despite this stain on his career, no matter how many fans hate this man, they can't ever deny how great of a player he is. With being one of the most unguardable players in NBA history, KD for many years now has been considered one of the best players in the league. And with time passing, much like Sasuke, fans are now starting to grow a new love for Kevin Durant. Sakura is a character in the show who's hated by some fans and loved by others. With being a character who we can see is clearly passionate about many things such as her team, there are many times in the show where her passion can kind of be seen as annoying. With being a character who has no problem voicing her opinion and making demands while not being as strong as her teammates is only one of the reasons fans don't like her. The other reasons people don't take her serious at times is due to her being over emotional and acting on impulse. But despite all the reasons people don't like her, no one could deny that when it matters, she's one of the most useful characters in the show. Sakura is a shinobi who knows her role and executes it very well. But despite having teammates that are levels above her in strength, she's still able to find a way to bring value to her team. Now, although her passion and obsession can oftentimes drive people away from her, what fans fail to realize is that she still is the ultimate glue that makes a powerful team like Team 7 work. So what other NBA player fits Sakura better than Draymond Green? Now Draymond, much like Sakura, is a player who's gained notoriety from running his mouth a bit too much. With being a player who many fans don't believe is as good as he thinks he is, ultimately made Draymond an easy player to target in terms of hate. On top of that, many fans view him as arrogant and impulsive, and it's safe to say he's proven them right on multiple occasions. But like Sakura, Draymond is a player whose talent gets shut out due to playing with future Hall of Famers his whole career. If you really take a deep dive into his game, you'd realize that Draymond, much like Sakura, played a huge role in his team's success. With being a player who's willing to do the dirty work for his team, makes him one of the most valuable assets already. But then again, it's hard not to hate on someone who continues to bring conflict. Now there's many more Naruto characters that could compare to NBA players pretty well. If you want to see which one of your favorite NBA players are compared to the Hokages in Naruto, feel free to check out my last video. Lastly, if you have any shorts, reels, or TikTok videos you want edited, I'm offering my services to help edit videos for a cheap price. So if you're interested in me editing your videos, check out my Fiverr link in the description. If you like these type of videos and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. For more content, follow my TikTok and Instagram. Thank y'all for watching.